Hello. Today is day 21 of Conquering the World with me, the Cicada, and today we have a variety of some different topics, and just to get straight into it, the first one is I am an artist, a struggling artist, a unique artist, let's see what else. What's another one? Um, a conflicted artist, a lazy artist sometimes, a determined artist, motivated, a distracted. All these things apply to me when I create my stuff, right? And I'm bringing this point up because if you are also someone who identifies as a creative individual, even if you're not, just to throw that, just to throw that out there, even if you're not, you have the potential to create if you let yourself struggle with it, okay? Because every time you sit down to make something, to make a YouTube video, to make some art, like, painting, to write a story, it's not just gonna come flowing out of your fingertips into like the world. It's gonna take some time. It's like when you work out. When you work out, you're not gonna be able to lift 100-pound dumbbells. Just ugh, ugh. So if you get that pen, and are you gonna make a Monet, a Picasso, or who else? What's his name? A Da Vinci every single time you touch a paintbrush? No, you're gonna struggle. Okay, being a creative person and letting that emanate through your body is a struggle and a practice and something that you have to learn to get used to. And I want to say, people like to say, I don't like to struggle, I don't want to feel that. You do. You don't understand the pleasure and the payoff of struggling with your art, with struggling with yourself to create something. It's amazing, okay? And this video, I'm going to link the TikTok video here, but this TikTok video from Rick Rubin, I know he's a little bit conflicted sometimes because some people say he's not even like a true musician or whatever, and I don't care about that because you don't have to listen to every word he says. So in this video, Rick Rubin says, success doesn't come from being like, other people like my art. No, success is when you make something. This is what he says. Success is when you make something and you make it enough and you like it enough to show it to other people. And regardless of whether or not they like it or not, you like it as an artist. You like, excuse me, you create your stuff and you're like, wow, I want to show this to people. Because you just have that yearning, not necessarily for their approval, but just for they can see what you make, And that's what he says true success is as an art. When you just fulfill your own want, like not your own wants, but your own comprehension of yourself. Because art is not just like a thing. It's not just like, a creative thing. It's like, I feel like on a metaphysical level, art is a combination of both physical and spiritual forces coming into one that you can represent to someone else. Because you show someone some piece of art and they don't just, it's hard to describe with words what art is, okay? And I just want you to know that, okay? Just know that. All right, so enough with that. Just as a creator and as an artist, just understand if you're struggling with your art, appreciate it. Appreciate the struggle and document the struggle, not necessarily for YouTube or anything, but just for yourself. Document this is hard because of this. Whenever I do this, that's more difficult, right? Just document that. And believe me, if you write down how you feel when you struggle and when you succeed, it's gonna help you in the long run, okay? Anyways, for today's music, we have two options. This one over here is a cool YouTube DJ set, which I thought was really cool and loud, and I would say you would like it if you need something loud and crazy to quiet your soul down a little bit, because it was just so that's what it's gonna consist of. And if you want something more calming and more like peaceful, listen to this song. This song I love. Memory by Barbra Streisand. A beautiful piece of work. It actually came out before the Cats play, because whenever I play, everyone's like, from Cats? And I actually know it not from Cats, but from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I think it's Roger Rolls. Personally, my favorite Diary of a Wimpy Kid. But yeah. And the last point I want to make today is, so I got it actually from this show called Atlanta, which is written, and I'm not sure it's directed by, but it is produced by Donald Glover, the rapper, as well. Forget his rapper name. From the season 3, episode 6, called White Fashion. And in the episode, some fashion company has made some type of racist thing. And it's not really about the event itself. It's more about how in modern society, companies create like some diversity, what is it called, diversity council or diversity, they make a new diversity board to be like, yeah, we're not racist, and then these are like some black or Asian or Latino figureheads that are gonna prove that we're not racist. And in the episode, the rapper that we follow, he's doing this fashion world where they like solve racism in this little committee with all these black figureheads, and he's viewing it as us as a viewer, like with naked naive eyes, because he believes maybe that they're actually gonna do something for the black community. And all these figureheads are just saying like, oh, like you got to give me the new like off-white Nikes, you got to do this for me, that for me, and they're just getting like basically paid off with through fashion, not necessarily through money, but through different gifts for saying that this company is actually not racist, right? And he says, why don't we like set up like some type of like foundation that teaches young black people to reinvest in their communities, right? And that just sparked me. Like I've always think about this anyways. I'm so diversity aware, right? I don't. No, it's not that. What I think, what I got from this episode was, you should start reinvesting your money in your communities. Whether it's not a racial thing. It's more of a social class thing in terms of, you know, poor, rich, poor, middle class, and rich. And I think you should start reinvesting your money in your communities, like those small businesses, those clubs and organizations, like, you know, held around town. You should start getting yourself involved with the people around you, okay? Your neighbors, whoever, okay? I know this is not some easy thing to do. I don't really do it either. Maybe I'm encouraging you by trying to encourage myself to do it, you know. But anyways, I'm just trying to say, we need to stop giving all our money to corporations. That's my main, when I get my main markers on this channel is, corporations don't deserve your money. Look, I'm here again just to emphasize how much these corporations, these monopolies, these conglomerates don't care about you. All you are to them is a dollar sign, okay? That's all you are. People always talk about voting, and I'm not gonna say voting doesn't matter, but you know what matters more than voting? Giving them your money, okay? Literally, that's all they care about. The politicians, the whoever it is, the media talkheads and the podcasters and all that. Maybe not the podcasters as much, depending on where you get your media from and your news, but half these people are sellouts, okay? Donald Trump, he's not a bad person because he has bad policy or whatever. He's a bad person because he gets sold off to the highest bidder. And let's not act like he's the only one. It's literally all of them. Maybe a few of them are all right, okay? All right at the least, at the minimum, okay? But 80% of them are being sold off to the highest bidder, okay? I'm talking your politicians and the people in power in terms of, you know, corporations and stuff. And I'm supposed to tell you right now to reinvest in your own community, the small businesses around you, the mom and pop shops, all the random stores that sell stuff, everything, okay? It gets me so mad because they really don't care about us. They don't care about regular people living their daily lives. They don't care about our needs. They care about what puts money in their pocket. And the thing is, you can't blame them. I'm not gonna say you can't, but it is human nature to take care of yourself first. Think about it. When you do something, if you had $1 million, who would you take care of first? Your friends, your family, and you. Okay, you're not gonna have to take care of a random dude. And it's almost like, how can you expect someone to fight back against their human nature? It's a hard ask, you know, for you to give back to random people. It's not easy, but at the end of the day, you gotta realize it. Until we all realize we have to work together for all of us to succeed, then will we only, you know, be at peace. My dad gets mad at me because he thinks I live in fairy Maryland, like, I don't know, some dumb acronym or whatever, and think this world will one day be a utopia. I don't think that. I don't think that it's gonna really. I don't think in my lifetime, you know, things will be perfect or anything. But you know what I do know? I can either make this world a little bit better or a little bit worse. And if I can do whatever I can to make it a little bit better, I'm gonna do that. So if I can inform you on how to live your life in a little bit in a decent or in a better manner, I'm gonna do that, okay? And I'm also gonna try to set the example so you can follow, okay? I don't really like to talk about it because I'm so good or anything, but I have boycotted Starbucks, I don't eat from McDonald's anymore. I do buy coffee there. It's a bad addiction of mine. I do buy coffee from McDonald's, but aside from that, I don't spend any dollars in there. I don't go to Starbucks. Starbucks I completely cut off because one, it's just too expensive coffee, and two, I don't like the idea of it being a big corporation. I try not to eat fast food as often. The only streaming services I pay for, and maybe you're gonna hate me for saying this, but I do pay for Spotify. We need to watch out for our own backs, and by own backs I don't mean yours or your families and friends. I mean people in your situation, people who are living paycheck to paycheck. Okay, it just pisses me off because if they won't care about us, we have to care about us. In terms, and again, us is all of us. Okay, it's not just your family. You know, one of the most morally conscious countries in the world is being run like a corporation rather than a place where citizens matter and people matter. Okay, all right. Basically, it. Let's go back to the regular video where I say my goodbyes. Sorry to be a little pissed off and angsty right now. I hate when they use this. Okay, I'm sorry. Well, no, I'm not sorry, but yeah. Anyways, long story short, reinvest your money back in your communities for people like me and you to succeed. Okay, my goal with my life is to make a corporation that fights back against the system. Because you know how in the Bible it says, you need to fight against the wolves dressed like sheep. So be like the corporations and shut them out from your life, okay? Do your best. I'm doing my best. Together we can prosper. All right. With all that said and done, let's not forget Cicada Revolt. New Year's Eve day, Cicada Revolt, be the change you want to be in this world, okay? And I just want to really, really emphasize, when I say I want to be a corporation that eats the other corporations, I really mean it. Okay, I really do mean that. And I have thoughts in my brain on how I want to do that. And I'm really happy on sharing this with you. Only because right now nothing's formed yet, right? We're not structurally there yet. But God said, let there be light, and he created the world. So, trying to speak my truth into existence. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from it. And let's work on the future together, okay? Bye-bye and ciao.